Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we are going to have a live look at the Linux Lite 4.4 release candidate. So if you like to look at some distros, go ahead and have a look at that one. Give it some try, give it some test, and let them know of any issues that you might encounter. And we will go ahead and get started here very shortly. But before we do, let's go ahead and see who is online. Paperbag Man, yo, greetings there. Windows machine is running super slow today. Yeah, well, you know. Let's see, hope the kitty will be there. Yes, the kitty is here. I give you guys an extra 5 seconds of kitty. Right, kitty? Yeah? What? Let's see. Some discussion about that. Hello, Benjamin. Greetings, how are you? Use Puppy Linux. Yeah, we could do that. You want to come up and be on... You want more screen time, huh? More screen time. All right, you can come on up. Hello, Sleepy. How's it going out there down under? Praying to the cat gods for extra treats today. He got that yesterday. They were both in here, so I was going to give him a little treat, and then I went to zip the bag back up, and I accidentally put the bag upside down instead, and treats went all over the floor. Needless to say, there was a mad rush for kitty treats, kind of like if a bunch of cash were to fly all over the place on the interstate. That's what my office floor looked like as the cats scrambled for as many extra treats as they could possibly muster. I managed to recapture about a good 10 or so of them, but the kitties got a lot of treats. Whoops. Oh well. Kitty is a beast, yes. A for attention, that's right. Life and times of CJ, sleep. Listen to annoying human talk on camera. Kitty treats, sleep. That's right. Greetings, Louie, how's it going there? Yon Lopez, hello, greetings. Isaac, how's it going there? Best distro for 2019. My best distro? I mean, Linux Mint, man, come on. Greetings, Scotland, how are you, Alberto? Glad to have you here. His prayer was answered. Yes, his prayer was answered yesterday. Metal Lord, hello. It's been a while since I've seen you, Metal Lord. Greetings to you. Hey, all hail Caesar. Caesar has entered the room. Greetings, Caesar. How are you? All right. Well, let's go ahead and start off on Linux Lite, and then we are once we're done with Linux Lite, then we're going to go ahead and talk about a secondary topic that I have as well. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll the intro here. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, the Linux Lite 4.4 release candidate is out, so we are going to have a look at this guy inside of a virtual machine, and if this is your first introduction to Linux Lite, it will probably not disappoint. It is one of those ones that is really well suited for low-end hardware. Maybe it's something a little bit older, and we'll kind of walk into what it is and what cases you might use it for. So their main website over here is at linuxliteos.com. You can grab any information here. So come on down. There's the features. It'll tell you about all the different tools and abilities. There's some download links. What are your basic system requirements and whatnot. So here we have minimum requirement, 768 megabytes of RAM, 8 gigs of storage, 1024 by 768 screen resolution. 1 gig processor is kind of your minimum, and then there's some preferred as well. There is Linux Lite 4.2, 64-bit over there, and I'm not, I did not get a chance to see, let's see, 64. So back into, if you want to get like a 32-bit, you'll have to go back into the 3.8 branch. So this is based on Ubuntu, and like Ubuntu, they have dropped the 32-bit support going forward after version 4. So if you do need a 32, they should still have a few years left on the LTS. They are based on the Ubuntu LTS, which has at least 5 years of support as it is. And so you can go ahead and grab the information there. As far as, I don't remember exactly where I grabbed the beta ISO here, or the release candidate ISO, other than you can grab it on DistroWatch. So you can go ahead and look over there. So this is, as I said, this is based on Ubuntu, and being based on Ubuntu, it is Going to have a lot of the different perks that that's going to give you. It has the XFCE desktop environment with several customized tools to make the basic computer administration very easy, kind of like MX Linux. Now, MX Linux and Linux Lite are very closely related. A couple of your major differences: MX Linux is, although having a slightly different UI, MX Linux will also have, it's based on Debian versus Linux Lite is based on Ubuntu. They both run XFCE. They both have tools to do a lot of the similar things. And I think some of those tools kind of behave about the same way. And so what we're going to do here is jump on over into the virtual machine. I've already installed this into the virtual machine so that we can see what it looks like as we get everything running. And I accidentally pushed a wrong button, so give me just 1 second. I was trying to get this smooth, but oh well. All right, so here we are on the desktop. So when you first boot this guy up, you are going to get this nice welcome screen unless you disable it with the checkbox over here. And you can get this guy back from the menu if you come over here and you are looking for this welcome screen again and you're not enabling it to start up. You can just find Lite Welcome in the menu by searching for it. So like I said, the basic layout is going to be very similar to any other basic Windows type system. So it's going to be a Windows replacement. We have our clock. We have a few different desktop switchers over there, some quick launch type bars. Our menu, this is one of the menus that you can very easily set the custom size of the menu depending on what you want. So you have that option there as well. We also have the ability to search. We have settings, lock the screen, switch the user, log out, which is the shutdown features, log out, shutdown. We have the favorites menu, which is the default first place to go. And then you can go over and grab the variety of different softwares here. All right, so on your welcome screen when you first log in, oh, another thing to note is one of the compelling reasons you might consider Linux Lite over Peppermint is it actually has all of the desktop icons by default already working, which is something that Peppermint does not have. Now, I run Peppermint still on my lower spec machine, and I absolutely love it. I mostly went with it because I really love the theming in Peppermint, and I can restore the desktop icons. If you don't know how to get in, you don't want to figure out how to use the dconf editor and put your desktop icons. And what I mean by that, it's not that Peppermint can't work off the desktop. It's that your recycling bin, your user folders, these different tools, they don't have an easy way to put them on the desktop in Peppermint, whereas they do here in Linux Lite. So that's one of your reasons. As far as similarities, there's a few other odds and ends differences. Of course, Peppermint handles your ICE applications by default. For web-based applications, Linux Lite does not. So those are some of the things to think about. So once you get this started, there's this blue column here to the left. You can install updates, which I did not yet do, and I'm not going to because, well, it is a release candidate that was just released, I think, yesterday or today. I think today. And so we're not going to run those right now. But you want to come in here and install the updates. Installing the drivers. Come on down here and install the drivers. Now, one of the factors is that as you click in on that screen, it doesn't always align you where it should. This is the driver utility that is going to be inside of most Ubuntu-based distros, unless it has been intentionally removed. And so what you have over here is you have the ability to scan your computer for different drivers. So any Ubuntu-based system, my cat is going crazy. Any Ubuntu-based distros here, you can boot up this driver menu and look for any drivers, whether you have maybe some proprietary drivers for a video card, or the biggest complaint in Linux is your wireless card may not be working. Find a way to get your system on the internet, which could very well be a USB wireless adapter or a USB to Ethernet adapter, or bridge the internet with your phone through a cable. Any other way to get it on the internet, run this driver utility, and then you'll be able to install proprietary drivers for your hardware. The next step is setting a restore point. This is very much like the Windows restore point. I believe this is using time shift. And it's going to basically, it doesn't back up the files, it backs up the operating system. So there are also ways to make backup of your files, but the restore point is kind of like the way Windows does it. It does an entire restore of the system without the file. So you change a bunch of things and then the system goes bad. You can use time shift. You can restore the system back to a previous configuration, but it will not alter your files. So those are excellent things. And of course, there's language support there as well. And of course, we've killed our welcome screen, but I think that was probably all we needed to walk through because everything else is going to be the same. You can get the support with the online support, help manual, forums, hardware database, and then there's some extra things here. Go ahead and contribute to these guys if you have the capability. Follow them on their social medias, look at their shop, or donate to them. They do a really good job for this distro. And it is out of, I believe it's out of New Zealand. Am I correct about that? I think it's out of New Zealand. All right, so the next thing about this one is we have a lot of tools that are specific to Linux Lite. So this is our basic control panel for XFCE, which if you're used to this desktop, then you'll be used to it. But you'll notice down here under System, we have a lot of these Lite applications down here. These will enable you to do a lot of neat things. Here's your welcome screen. Lite Info shares your hardware info with the community if you want to do that. There's the auto login settings, so you can enable or disable the auto login very easily. The desktop, this is where you do things. Now, this is not the most user-friendly platform, but hey, at least they have it. So you see that the first half of the list is all enable, the second half of the list is all disable, and it's the same thing. So if you want to remove the recycling bin, come down to recycling bin, disable, and OK, and you'll notice that our recycling bin has now vanished. Of course, I like recycling bins, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't really want the control panel. I'm going to enable that. I'm going to disable the control panel. I don't really need that on my system. And I found on Linux, I don't specifically need this PC in there anyway. As long as I have user files, I'm okay with that. So there we are. Now we have a recycling bin. We have our user files. We have our network. This is just, I can toss that if I want to, I hope. No, can I toss it? Can I kill you, please? Maybe I can't delete you? I don't know. Yes, delete the help manual. All right. I like a clean desktop. I like to work off my desktop, but I do like it clean because it's like I like an organized desktop. All right. So Lite Info, Lite Network Shares. This will help you configure your network share settings. So in my case, where I have, I actually have some network shares that I can use to share the different files between the different computers on my network. So that's easy. This is their custom software system. And of course, if I tried to type a password while I was talking and I got all messed up. So here it's asking us, do we want to update the software sources? I'm going to go ahead and do that. I changed the repository since the last time I did this. I installed one piece of software just to test how the functionality is working. So here we can, it's going to pull us up. Do we want to install software or remove software? We'll hit install. Now, the good thing about this for a new user is that it doesn't overwhelm you with everything. The bad news is it really limits what you actually have available to you. So this list here is pretty much the most popular things there are. There's Wine, we have TeamViewer, we have Skype, we have OBS, Clementine, I'm guessing that's Clementine, yep, Clementine, Dropbox, FileZilla, just some basic common items here, but they don't overwhelm you with everything. This is, again, just to make it very easy to administer. Of course, if you want to remove software, you can do this. Now, the only software package I installed was Spotify. So you see that it's asking us, do we want to install that guy or uninstall that guy? I'm not going to. The other option that you have, though, is we do have, if you are more of a more seasoned Linux guy, we have Synaptic Package Manager on here as well. So you have whichever option that you happen to want. You got your Synaptic, you got your easy one for your new users as well. Lite sounds, you can enable system sounds, enable login sounds, and enable logout sounds. You can disable all the sounds, and then you can launch your volume control, which you could also get to down at the bottom as well. All right. Lite sources, this is your repositories. So if you are new to Linux, repositories is where you get your software packages from. The default is this one here, I believe. I should have mine set to using one of the United States ones. It's already the default. So it didn't show me that. It still looks like this one is there, but for whatever reason, it yelled at me when I tried to change it again. We do have some basic tweaks you can do. So if you need to fix the boot up, restores the boot flash screen, clearing memory. This guy here will allow you to set your default web browser. There are a lot of different things in here. So these are all things, I really like these tools because it gives newer users kind of a way to do some things that you may not think of. So, you know, even simple things like number lock. So they really did think of a lot of cool things, which is what makes Linux Lite a really good, attractive option. Definitely has more options and configurations than Peppermint does, about the same as MX Linux. So if it were, you know, somebody were to say which one to use, I would say check out MX, check out Linux Lite, check out Peppermint, and also don't forget Linux Mint XFCE, which might be a little heavier than these other ones, but I use Peppermint. I love the configurations and settings in there. This does have more settings and a little bit easier to configure some system settings. Here's our notifications. Okay, so you can set up some notification options and things, and these are for your system updates. So notifications from if there's any updates or upgrades. Here's the upgrade, user manager, and of course our welcome screen. So that kind of walks you through this. Now, of course, other things in XFCE, I have more comprehensive videos on some of these, but you know, this is where your panel is, so you can kind of determine, you know, the size of your panel right here, if you like it really small, if you like it really large, or just kind of down the middle. Number of rows on your panel, so you can have multiple different rows on your panel. And then the length, you can put your panel out at a certain width or not. So you have the capabilities of doing that. You also can do a vertical panel or a desk bar panel, which is the default for MX Linux, if you are familiar with that. And then under our appearances, we can enable some transparency in this, and we can enable some transparency just for if we're on the panel or off the panel or not. Okay, so if I do something like this, you can only see the panel if it's there. It's always there, but you can only see it if you're on it. So there's a lot of neat things that you can do within the settings of the platform. All right, so here's the items that's on the panel as well. You can add extra panels if you want panels on the top and panels on the bottom. It is possible. Just hit the plus up here. You can add another panel. So I actually have on my what's called my backup computer, which runs Linux Mint Mate. My backup computer is basically an encrypted personal backup of all my personal files. So my taxes, bank records, all that kind of stuff that's super important is on an encrypted drive. And I actually have two panels on that. I have my bottom panel for my basic usuals, and I have my top panel for extra applications and things like that. So you can do a lot of those types of things as well. We're not going to walk through the rest of the settings in here because I've already done that a lot of other places. Here is another fun request I had when somebody was talking about one of the videos I did, and so I think it'd be neat to look at, is how well does this guy cycle between applications. So if I go Alt-Tab, this is what the cycle through applications are going to look like. So I can go through this, and it kind of highlights the application kind of in blue based on which one is currently selected. that's actually a kind of neat tool, neat functionality. But thanks for whoever suggested I start looking at that a little bit, just to kind of see. As far as the software this is going to install, it does give us the option to install multimedia codecs and install updates on install, which is part of the is it called Ubiquity, the Ubuntu one? I don't remember. But as far as that, we don't have a minimal option specifically, but we don't have an overwhelming amount of things. We have just basically enough system resources, a basic text editor, capture screenshots, font viewers, file search, calculator, the backups. This backups is the ones that you use to make a backup of your actual files. And then you have your archive manager. Graphics, we have GIMP, an image viewer, and the scanner. We have Firefox, network connection management, Thunderbird mail, and there's just some support. We have a DVD burner, VLC, volume control. I installed Spotify. It does not come installed by default. This is the one application I installed just to test. And then we have LibreOffice. We don't have the full LibreOffice suite. We just have the 3 basic ones, your writer document, your presentations, and your spreadsheets. We have a PDF viewer. So that's what we get inside of our system. We have our install softwares, partition drivers, printer tools, time shift, which is our restore point software. Things like that. As far as the memory usage, we are using about 3%. And I don't know if I can actually... You know what? Let's go ahead and see if HTOP is installed. Hey, HTOP is installed. So we're running right now on 4.5 megs right now. So this is an excellent lightweight distribution. Runs really well. This is the release candidate, and it looks great. This is definitely a distro that you might want to run if you're looking at low spec hardware. So let me know your thoughts of Linux Lite down below, and if you are a person that likes to test different Linux distributions, go ahead and download a copy, play around with it, and see how it works. All right, let's go ahead and I'll leave that on just to read through a few comments right now, see if there's any comments we need for this, and then I'll shut this down. We'll move on over to another topic. Makulu for 2019. I don't know. Makulu's interesting, but I'm not sure I'd run it on production. Hello, Felipe Flores. How's it going there? Linux Lite specifically designed for toasters. That's right. I like my toast lightly buttered, so Linux Lite gives me lightly buttered toast, I guess. I don't know. Tell me Lenovo G5070 laptop is capable to install Linux Mint 19. I do not know off the top what the system specs are. Could you tell us some of the system specs? We'll be able to tell you from that. Install Lite on an old microwave. Is that... It's that light. Very nice. Oh, when you can get it installed on a printer, hey, that'd be awesome. Good Windows replacement, yes. Peabody, hello there. Linux Lite versus MX Linux versus Peppermint. Tried them all. All good choices, yep. I'm going to do a no Google challenge. We'll reflash my custom. Thank you very much, Analog, for that super chat. I will get down to that in a moment. Always appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. All right, guys, by the way, this is something I just noticed this pop up. My brother is streaming on his channel right now, which is at twitch.tv/Mabus Games. If you want to wonder about the mystery of genetics, we do have the same parents, we think. I'm going to mute him. I'm going to verify he's on. But if you want to see the great wonder of genetics, and FYI, his is not a family-friendly show. Mine is a family-friendly show. His is not. But if you do want to wonder about the great mystery of genetics, I think he is on right now. Jump on over there and say hello from Switch to Linux. All right, let's see. Well, if it has 12 gigs of RAM, yes, you can put Linux Mint 19 on it, for sure. All right, AMD R5 2300. I'm not familiar with the particular process. I'd have to look it up. Okay. If one of you guys that does more computer build can help him out. Okay, I do like the MX tools though. Yep, no UEFI support on Linux Lite. I don't think it does. Yep, my brother is on right now. Hold on, I'm going to say hi. I'm gonna troll my brother. All right. Okay, let's see. Linux Lite's a personal favorite. Got 4.0 running on our laptops. Yep, yeah. The tools, I think MX Linux has essentially the same tools too. I hate new distros that are just customized Ubuntu with no new features other than different programs. UI changes like distros like Peppermint, Linux Lite, Mint, Farron, Zorin. Yeah, yep, I agree. Curious to see which direction Peppermint goes in with LXQT being more of a thing right now. Yeah. Started out with Mint 18, was pleased with it. Well, except for the mouse bug when switching users. All right. Greetings, George. How's it going there? Broadcom is a wireless card that gives the most problems. Actually, Louis has a wireless card that gives you way more problems with than Broadcom. I forget which one it is, though. Okay. Frog McRibbit, greetings. Yes, Broadcom is indeed hell. I do have Broadcom on my Peppermint, and it's working just fine. I remember having to install that driver, though. Hope this will be a video I can watch later. Sebastian, yes, Sebastian, I will be doing an edit out of the video. If you save the link for this to watch it later, I'm not taking it down, but it will be hidden once I get the final edited version of one of the stories up. Greetings, Ricky. How's it going there? Clean, uncluttered DE. Works pretty well on Linux right now as opposed to before. Stick with the gritty of graphics on Linux, though. I specifically go with AMD, actually. Sudo apt to install htop to install. Yeah, it's already there, apparently. Didn't even notice Lite tweaks last time I had a look. Channel with Linux Mint 18.3 on the hard drive and the coffee table computer. All right, very cool. Cody, yeah, Cody's on there. Did not work well with my printer. Huh, that's interesting. Printers are kind of weird. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't. For me, I use Brother printers, so fortunately, since I do most of my work inside of the Debian world, the Brother printers have .deb packages to install your print drivers and scanner drivers. Greetings, Steve. How are you, sir? I prefer privacy in my life. So do I. Whoa, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Fast from USB. Yeah, it says Debian and Ubuntu. I'm going to close that out in case it's taking bandwidth. I'm not sure it really is, but what's my call on gaming on Linux? I'm not a gamer. I don't have much of a call on gaming on it. The kitty, though, just said meow, so I think he has something to say. Do you have something to say? All right, kitty, what is your thoughts on gaming on Linux? Oh, you have no thoughts either, huh? All right. Kitty has no thoughts either on gaming on Linux. Stream raid your brother time? Not given. Yeah, he's not. His channel's rated I for immature. How do you de-Google on a phone that doesn't have custom ROMs? You don't. Linux should give you freedom to destroy your system with RM. Yep. Ultimate freedom. You always have Suicide Linux, I guess. Get this fuzzy snake up here. Cambridge Wi-Fi? No, it's not Cambridge. If you watch the Luke Smith LaTeX videos, I've watched some of them. February 29th. Ooh. So you only have a birthday every 4 years, man. What's it like being a space alien? So if you have your birthday on February 29th, do you celebrate it on the 28th, or do you celebrate it on March 1st? Or do you just wait every 4 years? Do you age longer? Do you live longer? I mean, that's it. Screw over my Synth Spectre and Meltdown. The BIOS update did not fix my freezing issues on latest kernels. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think you'd actually publicize your real birthday. I didn't really see you doing that. You watch my channels. Alright. So, we got one more topic we are going to cover today. Right, kitty? Yeah. Boom! To hop or not to hop? That is the question. Just get myself set up over here, put my comment feed back where it's supposed to be. All right. About the RM thing, if you really care about RM, you'd be happy to know anti-RM protection is skipped over if you use bin RM instead of just RM. Yeah. Game in 1080p and the desktop is 4K. Doesn't exist in those years in between. Birthday is on September 47th. There you go. Just Tech Linux Lite website, and it does not support EFI. I don't think it does. Pretty sure it does not. All right. Well, we will go ahead and hit another topic here in just a moment. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we're going to ask this fun and fundamental question: to hop or not to hop? We're going to be talking about distro hopping. What is it? Why is it? What are people doing? Why is it a big thing? Why is there controversy? All these fun little things. I saw the neat video. Chris Titus Tech today did a video. I think he did it last night, where he's talking about just kind of how he's going to stick with one distro and stay on that. I think he said Debian. Did he say Debian stable or Debian testing? I forget which one he said. But he said go ahead and he's going to stick on one distro. Distro hopping every couple weeks was really wearing him down and things like that. And I've had a lot of other commentary on the channels as well. And there's a lot of conversation going around about this. And so I wanted to discuss just in a brief little video here to hop or not to hop. What are the pros and the cons of distro hopping on Linux? Now, of course, I did a video not too long ago. It was a few months back, though, and it was about why your Linux distro really doesn't matter. And I wanted to bring this up because Chris also talked in his video about the same thing. Your Linux distro really doesn't matter. We don't need to be fighting around going, oh, you should use this instead of that or another. Some people really like Debian. Some people really like Ubuntu. Some people really like Mint. Some people really like Manjaro or Arch or Gentoo or whatever else. Whatever Linux distribution you have that works, that you know how to run, manage, and use is exactly what you should be using. Now, there's some people like myself and DistroTube and Chris Titus Tech who do talk about a lot of different distros from time to time. And we do this not because we're wiping everything out necessarily. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I know I'm not wiping everything out to distro hop to a different distribution. I'm doing it for two primary reasons. Number one is to teach you guys what all is out there. And number two, so I can better learn myself about the different types of distributions. I wanted to be able to know how to manage something inside of CentOS or Ubuntu or Debian or Arch. And so I learn a lot jumping back and forth on a lot of different things. Now, there's some different considerations. One of those is I have a number of different computers. So you hear me talk about distro hopping. I never change the operating system on the computer I'm recording this on. I built this computer from the ground up to do live streaming and distribution testing in a virtual machine. It's got 12 processing cores, well, 12 processing threads, 6 cores, 12 threads, and 16 gigs of RAM, and I might upgrade it back up all the way up to 32 soon. It's just that RAM, when I put the computer together, RAM was really expensive. Same exact RAM I have in here is actually about half the price as I bought it for originally. So I might be doing that soon. But that being said, I built this specifically to be able to record high quality videos for you guys on virtual machines without losing system performance. Now, I have another computer, which is over here, that is just out of screen, that is kind of my distro hopping computer. It's an all-purpose multimedia, mostly multimedia slash general purpose computer that doesn't actually ever do much production work, but it does do media files. I'll watch movies, I'll watch videos, I'll write the occasional document, I'll rip the occasional CD, do just little odds and ends things around the office. Now that has, it has a Windows 8 disk in it. I don't think it boots anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen the Windows operating system on that for at least 9 months. It has the other operating system it has inside of it is Linux Mint 18.3 KDE. And it has on it right now, I'm running Arch on it. Now I run the distro hopping that I do on that computer is actually done with an external Western Digital external hard drive. I have a 1 terabyte external hard drive that I use to bounce the distributions. So I'll run it for a little while, I'll clear it off, put a new distribution. If the whole thing flops on me, I just pull the thing out, boot into Linux Mint, and I use that until I have time to fix it. So my office is set up, because I'm a work-at-home tech consultant, my office is set up to be able to do that. Because I got this computer, I got a Mac down here, I got that computer, I got a Windows computer there, I got a Dell on the back behind me, and I got 2 more computers downstairs. I got plenty of things to run with. Not everybody has that, and this is where you start watching the channels, we start talking about distro hopping, and then you get the idea that we're wiping our computer every couple weeks, and that causes deep amounts of stress and frustration. And so we don't always want to do that. So in light of this, with a tip of the hat, and go take a look at Chris's video, tip of the hat to that, I want to talk about to hop or not to hop. And that is the question. But I kind of identified a few different things. When to hop? When do you do a distro hop? This is a great question to have. When do you change your Linux operating system on your computer? And I've identified 3 primary reasons for doing this. One of these is if you are still looking for your perfect distro. So when I first got started on Linux, and I told the story the other day, I started out with Ubuntu, and I liked Ubuntu. I loved Unity. I thought it was a great operating, like a great desktop environment. Unity was great, but it did not work well with my workflow. Unity was absolutely perfect for this media PC that's next to me. It is the ideal desktop environment for that PC. It's great. It had everything on the side. It was minimalist. To use the colloquium, it got out of your way, but it gave me access to the things that I need really quickly quickly between the tasks. But it's horrible for my actual work production when I'm doing real work. And this channel is dedicated to teaching you how to do real work on Linux. I'm not all that concerned about all of the odds and ends, this way, that way, what can I really do? We need all those guys to get this stuff ready and working, but I kind of pick up where they leave off and say, how do you write a book, produce it, and publish it on Linux? How do you build a website on Linux? How do you do a book cover on Linux? How do you do all these different real-world applications on Linux? That's what I'm most concerned with. All right? So, if you are in that phase, and to stop chasing the rabbit and come right back to where I was on my trail, when I first got started, I loved Unity. Unity, yeah, I was like, huh. But it didn't jive with my workflow to get the rest of my workflow done. And so I kept on looking around, and that's when I found Linux Mint. And Linux Mint is absolutely 100% everything that I want in a distribution. That's why I use it. So number one, if you are still looking for a distro, feel free to keep hopping until you find what is perfect for you, because that is what's so great about the Linux ecosystem. Is if you want to do something totally weird with your keyboards exclusively or almost exclusively, you got your various Windows managers, you got GNOME, you got a lot of different options for that. If you're just like me and use a combination of keyboards and mouse constantly, Cinnamon is perfect for me. XFCE, Mate, these are good options as well. And then there's some other odds and ends in between. How frequently do you have to change your inputs on your microphones, your cameras, or things like that? Something like Budgie makes that really easy. So if you're still looking for your distro, keep hopping. Don't settle until you've tried all sorts of different things. Then, of course, there's also the package management. How do you manage your packages? How do you manage your distribution? Do you like the command line, or do you want to go in and do something in a nice GUI? If you're still figuring that out, that's good. Another reason to hop, if you're having issues in need of solutions, then you will want to get in there and you will want to hop around and see if there's a distro. Like it or not, not every distro works on every piece of hardware. Even my wonderful Linux Mint, it just doesn't work on absolutely everything. Elementary works really well on some hardware, not so well on other hardware. That's one of those things to keep in mind as well. So these are those things to keep in mind. If you're having an issue, research that issue on your particular computer and see if there's a better Linux distribution or a better desktop environment to help you along. So you're still looking for your distro, you're looking to solve your problems, or in my case, I have extra devices. It's not a big deal for me to wipe a device every few weeks. Now, what I actually have is the great portability of Linux is as long as you have that home folder, everything's always saved. And so that's the cool part, because I can take a copy of my home folder, take the copy of that out, move it onto my server, wipe the Linux distribution, put a new one on, copy the home folder back, reinstall the applications, which takes all of about less than an hour, and then my entire system is back up and running again. But I do that with extra devices, so I'm never wasting things, because I don't have time. If I've jumped to a new distro that's gone crazy, I don't have time to take out of my regular production day to get it working. I need to make sure. And that's why the one computer that I do distro hop on has a backup operating system that I know works. I know it's fine. And if it doesn't, I do have my box of USB drives that has a few other distros on there as well that I can also use those ones. And again, if I'm out of shape, I just boot those up, copy the home folder back over, good, we're set. All right. So those are when to hop. When not to hop. Here are the reasons not to distro hop. If your hardware is working well, stop hopping. You have found your golden parachute. Don't jump anymore. It's good. Stick with it. Whether that's elementary or Ubuntu or Linux Mint, unless for some reason you just absolutely abhor the thing, then you could jump. But if everything is working on your hardware, don't jump. Don't jump just because you want to get a better experience somewhere else. You want to broaden your horizons. Keep your production computer there. Don't change your production computer if it's working. Now, if your workflow and your files are all working, once again, I love the Linux Mint workflow. It is exactly what I want with no exceptions. Well, I guess the one exception, I moved my show desktop from the panel on the, on the left side over to the right side where it is on Windows. Perfect. Easy to do. Easy to fix. Everything is working. My files are working. My file manager is working. My panel is working. My applications are working. My programs are working. Everything is working. I'm not touching it. If you have a case where your workflow is working, your hardware is working, do not distro hop. You're going to cause unnecessary stress on your life. Number 3, if you only have a single computer, okay, you don't want to be wasting time jumping back and forth on your single or main production computer. The reason I have consistent videos on this channel is because I don't touch my production computers. It works. It's a production computer. It's what I want it to do. And it does what it does very, very, very well. Those are your reasons to hop, or not to hop. Well, you got hop or not to hop. To hop, summary, looking for the perfect distro, having hardware issues in need of fixing, or you have extra devices you want to learn. Reasons not to hop, everything on your hardware is working well, your workflow is working great, or you only have a limited number of devices. Stop jumping around so much. Just stop jumping around so much. That being said, pretty soon I'm going to wipe Arch off of this guy and install Gentoo. I lost my mind. It's going to be Calculate most technically. But anyway, that's coming on down the pipeline. So let me know your reasons to hop and your reasons not to hop in the comments down below. All right, let's see what we got here. Did I leave where I was? I think I did. The question. Don't distro hop, just settle in with Arch suckless. Totally did not get the meme until it was pointed out. Silly me. i5 4320U graphics, AMD R5 M20 RAM 12. Yes, Linux Mint will run on that without any problem. That is perilously close to some of my Dell computers that are running Linux Mint. Now, if you have a problem with 19, go back and try 18.3. 42 is the answer. All right. My cat will attack you. My cat will just lick you to death. Right, kitty? Right? You're just going to lick me to death, aren't you? He's like, what? Is it treat time already? In case you're confused, FerOS has a package in it that checks commands for destructive arguments. If it sees them, it will deny them. But I want to RMRF my device. Peppermint 9 stopped my distro hopping. Very good. Very cool. Sorry I'm late. Work in the afternoons now. Oh, bummer. Stopped distro hopping like a year and a half ago. Make a person denied have more to laugh in the process when they're denied too. Found early in life that stable / beautiful Linux distros. There's MX. Yep. Distro hopping is a disease that needs to be scorched from the earth. Not necessarily, because there's valid reasons for it. You know, if it wasn't for all of us guys doing distro hopping, you may not know that Peppermint 9 exists. You may not know about Linux Mint, you know. I learned Peppermint 9 from English Bob's channel, actually. Let's see. 8 cores, 16 threads there. One up in me, huh? Should test something and get a new perspectives. That's why VMs are nice. Yep. And I don't have a problem with VM because I built my machine to handle VMs. Trying Manjaro. Systemd analyze says it booted 3.8 seconds. I'm intrigued. Plus, I want to find something that runs i3 better than Linux Mint. Just everything should run i3 better than Linux Mint. Went overkill on the CPU with 8 cores. Yep. That depends. I have a townhouse. I have a house in town. All right. Definitely trying a VM first. Then if still curious, install on USB. Then if curious, get an icy dock. Yep. 12 months on Germany. Yep, that's right. And that's actually, I mean, I use the icy docks so that I can swap between different operating systems very easily for different purposes. My backup computer, this is the production computer. You know, I have other computers for different things. A cheapy X-Lease laptop and got Linux Mint working. Yep. Used to be mint until I couldn't play my Unity games. Thank you, Vince, for that super chat. Always appreciate that. If there's a comment to it, I will get to it in just a moment. Thank you, my friend. Okay, I know I'm odd fish, but I can't use Fedora or Ubuntu anymore. Yep. Hey, you know, use what you like. It's unstable. I guess use a repo to do KDE Neon PPA. It's slowed down the stability. Yeah. Pop! OS allows us to use NVIDIA graphics better for laptops with battery life issues. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Pop! OS is pretty cool. Great stream. Why, thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right, let's see. My cat used Puppy. My cat still uses Puppy Linux. Yep. Noob comes to Linux and you say PPA to them, they'll go right back to Windows. PPA. Todd Bentley, greetings. Do you drive a Bentley? Manjaro Deepin works fine, but YouTube. I'm on Arch Labs with Deepin. It's working fine. If I don't change the operating system soon, I have to change the desktop though. The Deepin is starting to drive me crazy. Thank you again for that, Sleepy. Have you watched the Luke Smith videos? I've watched a few of them, yes. Distro hopping is the reason Kitty uses Puppy. Yep. Microsoft forked Wine and made it work all the Windows applications. Would you use it? It might. I don't know. I mean, there's really not a lot of Windows applications I use, so I don't know. Bibian. I have not tried Bibian. I have run Hannah Montana Linux, though. I really have tried that one. That's definitely a case. Whoa, guys. There's a cat down there. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Wouldn't use Wine. I'd rather run a VirtualBox and Sandbox Windows and run some of the programs. Someone should make a Deepin crazy error. Greetings, Zen. How are you? We are coming to the bottom of the stream. In fact, I think we're about to jump off. We gotta have to feed that kitty. He's looking a little too cute, isn't he? Want to see how fast the kitty can move? I mean, he might be a big cat, but let's see how quick he can move. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. You gotta jump. Jump for it. Come on. Come on up. There we go. See? We're getting the cat training down. We're getting the cat training down quite nicely. He's getting well trained. Oh boy, kitty. Oh, right here. I don't have one in my hand. You'll have to stick your head in there or a paw in there or stick something in that bag. Go on. I don't have anything in my hand. Stick your hand or your head or your paw. No, not spilling all over the floor again today. Go on. Go on. Yeah, there you go. And one more over here for you. Are they finger licking good? Yeah. Ooh. He's a cute kitty. All right, there we are. See how long he hangs out now that the treats are put away. See if he's a fair weather friend today or if he's going to chill. All right, let's see. Don't need many Windows applications, and for games, they'd need to port DX12, which will not happen. Yeah. What's Wine with Proton up to? I thought that was DX12, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't follow that stuff. Kitty shows you've been on for almost an hour. Getting hungry. Yep. Now this distribution, well, friends, with the developer. We used to play CSS. You should check out Ungoogled Chromium. It's a fork of Chromium without the Google stuff. Ooh, that sounds fun. Yeah. What OS do I use on my YouTube machine? Presently, that's the one that jumps from time to time. Presently, I'm running Arch Labs with the Deepin desktop environment. I think Chromium is mostly de-Googled, but not entirely. More people need to use Gecko and Gecko engine to surf the web. WebKit blind is fat to dominant. DXVK. All right. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up. Supporter stream tomorrow. I probably have a topic for it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. And I'll have to look through my article archive to see what's around. But have a look for that. And then we will also do a stream on my other channel tomorrow as well. That's the Christian channel at Our Walk in Christ. So we'll have that information there. And with that being said, we will wrap this one up. So thanks for coming along, everybody. And I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.